EduNations is a non-profit organization founded in 2004, devoted to helping provide education in most remote parts of the country, building schools and developing a future for the forgotten children across the continent, beginning in Sierra Leone by supporting the government through the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology. EduNations seeks to connect resources from affluent societies with the needy and poorest in the world to provide education, opportunity and hope. Dr. Dean Weaver, President and founding member of EduNations, has been actively involved in providing education and empowerment of children in Africa since 2002. After the end of the civil war in Sierra Leone, the organization has been helping to restore hope, providing children with educational materials they need to have any chance at a peaceful, productive and prosperous life.
In 2002, 3 months after the war ended, I traveled over with several friends to help take care of orphans who had been displaced by the war. 3 years later, we returned, having formed an NGO called EduNations to help educate the children in the most under-resourced areas of the country. We focus largely in the northern provinces, and so we have been building and operating schools in the districts in the north of the country now for going on 12 years.
The tragedies of Sierra Leone, a once strong and noble country, once known as the Athens of Africa, are too numerous to mention here. For many years, the nation has been ranked among the poorest in the world and the worst place to live. Sierra Leone was utterly ravaged by the 11-year civil war. The social chaos that followed has left its people devastated and the nation in shambles. Faced with unbelievable poverty, hunger, AIDS, a growing sex trade, child trafficking, and the ever-present fear of a rejuvenated civil war. Samuel Sise is a Sierra Leonean currently serving as the newly elected president of EduNations Hope Academy in Sierra Leone, having worked previously in full-time Christian ministry, a business organization, and recently with the not-for-profit organization World Hope International.
EduNations was founded actually in the US in 2005 with the goal of helping to support education in Sierra Leone. And for many years since it was founded, the organization was registered in the US, and a few partners in Sierra Leone were able to know about this and to solicit funding to establish schools in different parts of Sierra Leone. But 5 years ago, the board of directors of EduNations in the US made the decision to hire me as a country director and mandated me to basically come and establish the organization in Sierra Leone. And I have had the privilege of establishing this organization in Sierra Leone. So we are based in Freetown. Our head office is number 3, McFoy Lane, Congo Town in Freetown. And from there we have a number of administrative staff and school administrators. In the last 5 years, EduNations has built and run 10 schools. So we have 2 nursery schools, 5 primary schools, and 3 junior secondary schools. And what you see behind me here is one of the junior secondary schools. And right now we are in the village of Benikoro in Sengbe Chiefdom. This is 7 miles away from Kabala. We have seen the need for a junior secondary school in this community in the last 2 years, and we have felt that the best way to intervene was to construct this junior secondary school, which should be able to serve not only this community but quite a large catchment of villages.
EduNations is devoted to building schools to make education free and accessible to children who otherwise would not receive one. In Sierra Leone, many families go without food, or children are forced into early marriage, prostitution, or becoming petty traders and thieves to pay school fees. The village of Rokassa in the Masimere chiefdom of the Potloko district is the newest member of the EduNations family. This remote and rural community of the Timni people has had no access to education since and before the Blood Diamond War until now. The first phase of EduNations Hope Academy development in Rokassa includes 3 school buildings for grades pre-K through class 3 with an enrollment of 130 students. Where there was no opportunity for education, there is now a free school that includes well-paid and trained teachers, school supplies, uniforms, and furniture.
We've targeted 4 different districts. We're in Bambali Bana, we're in Tonkalili, we are in Quinadugu, and we're in Port Loko. Founding members of EduNations have children who were adopted from Sierra Leone. And like many of the children after the war, they were separated from their families, and many of the families here wanted to reconnect with their children. So we've worked hard at reconnecting children that were adopted to America with their families in Sierra Leone. My children happen to be from this village of Rokassa, and it took me a number of years to find their family. But when I found their family, I was able to bring my children home to see their home village in Sierra Leone. And what we found is as we returned to the villages to bring education, that they were very grateful for the development. The resources of the government have been very limited because of all of the strains from the war and then of course the Ebola outbreak. So our ability to bring the infrastructure of education, which is key to development, to communities that are under-resourced has been a strategic help both to the government, but more importantly to these communities, their families, and especially the children who are the future of Sierra Leone.
In the near future, we hope to add 2 additional school buildings on campus so that we can expand the senior secondary school. The village of Fintonia, the Tombaka chiefdom in the northern district of Bombali, may be among the most remote and difficult to reach areas of Sierra Leone. The newest addition to the EduNations family of schools is located in a community widely recognized by the government of Sierra Leone to be among the least developed in the country. Cut off by the Kaba River to the south and the jungles of Guinea to the north, the children in this part have been starving for education. EduNations is working very closely with the government, chiefdom and village leadership to repair and rejuvenate the forgotten and neglected schools of this community. We are currently operating the nursery school, partnering to run the primary school, and will soon assume the operations of the local junior secondary school. New water wells are soon to be dug, teachers are hired and paid well, children are excited and learning. Hope has been ignited at the ends of the earth among the people of Fintonia.
My name is Florence F. Magai. I am attending the EduNations Hope Academy Junior Secondary School. In Fintonia here, everything is free. They give us free education, free learning material, and this support we are getting from is coming from the EduNations. I thank you all for everything you are doing. May God bless you.
As well as being in Benikoro here, we have schools also in Rokassa. This is in Masimra Chiefdom in Port Loko district. We have a school in Mabom Station. This is in Kolifa Rowala Chiefdom in Tonkolili district. We have schools in Mapenda and Mayata, from nursery to junior secondary school, and that is in Bendambu Guau Chiefdom in Bombali district. And we have a junior secondary school, a primary school, also in Fintonia, which is Tambaka Chiefdom in Bombali district. So we are in Tonkolili, Bombali, Potloko, and Quinadugu district. So what we do at EduNations is to basically identify communities like this where there is no access to education, at least within a radius of 4 miles. And we would go back to the board of directors in the United States who would help us raise the fund to build a school like this. Once we build our school, we will provide free education to all the students that come to the school. And we will provide teaching and learning materials for free. We will also pay our teachers a good and timely salary. And we would additionally provide uniforms for the students that come to our school. Obviously, this is not an easy thing to do, but when you think about the fact that we are coming to communities that are very vulnerable, you would see that even if you ask people to pay a small amount of money, they would not be able. Therefore, they would rather have their children do other things rather than coming to school.
The very poor village of Mayata is about 5 miles further north of the village of Mapinda, where the EduNation has primary and junior secondary schools. EduNations inherited its neglected school from the village leadership and has been working hard to upgrade and improve the quality of education of the least of these. With the school repairs, new furniture, latrines, and clean water wells, the children of Mayata are now experiencing the hope that a free, high-quality education can provide. Well-paid, trained teachers with new school supplies, sports programs, and visits from the ministry teams multiple times each year are making a real difference among the people of the chiefdom. Some of the students who graduated from this primary school walk over 5 miles to junior secondary school in the village of Mapinda. Other students drop out due to the distance. EduNation has provided school bus to transport these students to their various schools so that their education and community development will continue to grow. In these faces, we see hope.
Hotel EduNation, thank you. What he don't do for we? We begin in the land, we know they pay. First time we go na bush, they pick banga, now they broke. Before they get what they pay for picking about now. Where the nation don't come, we tell Papa God thank you for waiting and they do for we. We not go able to bless them waiting and they do for we picking and the land. We not they pay for uniform, we not they buy uniform, we not they pay anything, and the land no more. We tell God thank you.
The small village of Makamp in the Khalifa Rowala chiefdom of the Tonkolili district is relatively new to the family of EduNation schools, where EduNations has been established since 2004. These desperately poor rural groups of villages has built their own mud block schools and were educating their children with volunteers when they were invited to send their children to join the Mekonko school 2 years ago. But the 5-mile walk through the jungle and across a seasonally dangerous bridge has led to repairing their dilapidated school and hiring teachers to ensure that at least the smallest ones can stay near home for school. With a brand new clean water well and the repaired school, the children are now safe. Moving forward, it is hope in the very near future to build a solid concrete block school for all the children of this community.
Children everywhere are the same. They want the same things. Love, education, the ability to learn, and friendship. Here at EduNation, this is the reason behind our service, to reach out to the less privileged children of this country with quality education. So we are thankful for all those that are making this possible in this part of the world.
Well, the message of EduNations is always hope. From Jeremiah 29 and verse 11, we know that the plans that the Lord has for us are not for calamity, but for well-being, for hope, and for a future. We believe the children of Sierra Leone are the future, and they bear great hope. And if we invest in them in quality education, then we believe the future of Sierra Leone is bright, and she will be sweet Salone indeed.
So today we are very thankful to God for the reopening and the launching of this our brand new school at Benikoro, Konadogu district. So EduNation we thought it's fit that we should provide a secondary school in this community that will feed about 7 communities, that all of their children that will take their MPS exam will attend in this secondary school. So we are very thankful for that. We just pray that all the parents around will send their children in this school.
The village of Mapinda, EduNations Hope Academy has been partnering with the good people of Mapinda and surrounding villages since the organization was founded in 2004, with over 300 students between the primary and junior secondary schools of this remote rural community in the Bombali district. EduNations Hope Academy has become a standard bearer of education for the region. With clean water wells attached to each school, EduNation is able to maintain a student body that is better than 50% girls. And by keeping education close to home as opposed to traveling into the city of Makeni, the children are kept safe and continue to contribute to their families' farming activities.
I did not grow up as a Christian, but yet from the time I was a little girl, the Lord had already placed Africa on my heart. I didn't understand anything about that. I didn't know why. I didn't even really know where Africa was. And for many years, that passion was dormant in me. But as I grew into my adult years and became a Christian and started following Jesus Christ, well, the desire for Africa rose up into me once again. And when I started working at Memorial Park Church as a pastor and with Pastor Dean, the Lord gave me the opportunity for the very first time to come to Africa. And Sierra Leone is where we came. And I can tell you that as soon as I got off the plane, I knew that I was home. There was something about Sierra Leone that I had never experienced before, but yet it already lived in my heart. It was familiar. It was as if I had always been here. And so after 16 trips, I have fallen in love with the people. I have great friendships here. And I love to tell people about Jesus. And I think on one of my early trips, back in 2011, I was asked to come and to baptize 198 Muslim converts. And so I spent 3 days at Easter time baptizing in rivers for hours on end, people who had come to know and to love Jesus. And what that has done is it has encouraged my faith. It has strengthened me as a person. And I've gotten to see what it is that God is doing in the middle of this place. He loves Sierra Leone, and He loves the people, and He wants to be close to them. And so the reason I love Sierra Leone is because He planted them in my heart before I ever came here. And then He gave me great relationships, and together we're building the kingdom of God. And I love that very much.
My name is Mohamed K. Kamara. I am the senior head boy for EduNations Junior Secondary School, Benikoro, Kabala. I have sat down for quite many years without going to school because of money. But I am now receiving free education and free school material through EduNation.
My name is Fatma Takonte. I am attending EduNation Junior Secondary School, Benikoro Village, Kabala. I am presently receiving free education from EduNation, including school materials, books, pen, and others.
Me pikin na Benikoro ya go school na EduNation Secondary School, and the school will not pay school fees, will not pay anything, and they give you free books, pen, and uniform. For now we go to the school, and the teachers them very good and important in the community. And when they come, they know the follow person woman, for say that the follow person woman, they do anything. They come for them teaching, and the teaching when they come, na relevant teaching, then they teach we picking them. And we so say we picking them na important education they give for, they're ready for give them.
Now we hope that over a period of time, we will be able to empower these communities in such a way that it will be easy for them to be able to provide uniforms, learning materials, or even pay school fees. But at the moment, we felt that the best response is to provide a completely free education to them. So in the 10 schools, right now we have close to 2,000 students who receive a completely free education, and we have close to 100 employees, including teachers, head teachers, principals, and administrative staff. And the funding for EduNations has always come from our friends in the Evangelical Presbyterian Church in the United States of America. So in my last 5 years as country director, we have not received any funding from anyone in Sierra Leone. We had not written a project proposal. We had not received funding even from the government. Now we will love to do that, because we agree that it is the primary responsibility of the government to provide education to its citizens. And we have been engaged in the Ministry of Education and hope that in the not too distant future there will be opportunities for the government to assist. I guess this is something very critical, because right now we are completely stretched. We get requests from other communities for expansion, to be able to build schools and hire teachers and provide free education. And I get to say to them that right now we just don't have the capacity to do that.
The village of Mekonko in the rural Tonkalili district, about 45 minutes southeast of the nation's third largest city of Makeni, is one of the first communities to partner with EduNations to provide development through education. With over 300 combined students between our primary and junior secondary schools, EduNations has helped to bring agricultural projects, clean water wells and community development to this neglected area.
My name is Fatmata M. Koma. I live at Mokom Village. I am attending EduNations Hope Academy Primary School, Mokom Village. I am in Class 6. We enjoy a lot of benefits EduNation, like books, like uniform, books, pens, ruler, and many more. EduNation provides a free education for us.